My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my list of the best lost characters. Originally, I was going to do top 5 lost characters, but for a show that went on as long as this one did, I feel like I should do 10. So I cheated a little bit, you'll see how later on, but I decided to do a list of top 10 lost characters. And because I've spent so much time talking about this show already, going into each and every character with my each season review and my series review, I'm not going to go in depth with them here. This is not going to be a super long video. It's just going to be a quick, this character is my 10th favorite character, here's why, and then move on to the next. So anyways, let's get going. So my 9th and 10th favorite characters of this show, that's right, I'm cheating right off the bat, is Rose and Bernard. It would feel weird to separate these two because they work better together. When they were separated and they reunited in season 2, that was legitimately a really sweet moment. And these are two characters who aren't in the show a lot, but whenever they are in it, I really enjoy what they bring to it. Now, the one episode that does focus on them, the SOS episode, I don't like at all, but these characters are wise, they're mature, and I like how they just stay out of it. They don't get involved with everything going on with the others. They just mind their own business and just try to get by. And I like that about them. So that's why they're my 9th and 10th favorite characters. My 8th favorite character is a character who I didn't even mention in lots of my videos for each season. But he is a character that I really came to like by the end of the show. And that's Frank. Now there's nothing about Frank psychologically that's really remarkable. You don't know what's motivating him. But in just being a likable, charming presence in this show, he's exactly that. I enjoyed everything that he brought to this show in the latter seasons, and even though, once again, the writing's not great behind him, I still liked it whenever he was on screen. In 7th place is another character who's not in the show much at all. He's a very minor character, but he's one character that I feel like got completely wasted, and it's Mikhail. Who's Mikhail? Mikhail is the villain in season 3 with the eye patch. And this character, first of all, the eye patch is a nice addition. He looks like a badass, but he's just got this threatening presence to him that I really enjoyed. You've got Ben, who's got a bit more of the nerdy qualities, but this is a villain who looks and feels like a villain. And I think it's a shame they killed him off when he did and that they didn't utilize him more properly before that. So I really like Mikhail. I think he was a great villain in the time he was in the show. In 6th place. Now, I've looked into lots of other people's lists before making my own. And this is a character who's number 1 on most people's lists. And he's not that high for me, hence why I said in 6th place. But it's still a character I really like, and it's Desmond. Now, I love what Henry Ian Cusick brings to this character. I think he does a great job in the show. I think he is so charming and just brings this nice presence to it. The only reasons why he isn't higher is because he doesn't interact with the main characters of the show all too often. And the other reason why is that I know it's a hot take, but I don't like Desmond's episodes. The time traveling is an element of the show that never worked for me. Not even when it was just with Desmond, and if the Desmond focused episodes were ones I liked more, he'd probably be much higher on the list. But he's not. Now I also want to say that on top of being a charming, likable presence, I also think his relationship with Penny is one of the most pure relationships in this entire show. At the end of season 4 when he reunites with her, I thought that was a really touching moment. So yes, Desmond is my 6th favorite character. My 5th favorite character, okay, so this is what you're going to see is how I'm cheating with this list. So my 5th favorite character is a character Locke, specifically in season 2. That's the way I'm doing this list, so sue me if you don't like it. But I really like Locke in this season. I think this is when he's the most interesting that he's ever been. He's a man of faith. That has been established at the very start of season 2. He keeps pressing that button because with no other reason to believe it, He believes that something bad will happen if he doesn't. And to see that worldview challenged throughout this season and how it pushes him and motivates him, I found to be very engaging. And maybe I'm looking back on this show wrong, and maybe I'm looking too much into it, but when it turns out that Ben was lying and that Locke was wrong about him, it feels like his entire world just comes crashing down and he doesn't know what to believe. So that really makes for his most engaging character arc. And then you've also got Jack, who's a man of science, and just the conflict between the two of them really worked for me in season 2. Because it's not just character conflict, but it's also a conflict with worldviews. So that's why Locke in season 2 was my 5th favorite character. My 4th favorite character is Ben in seasons 2 and 3. I didn't like the direction they went with him after that, but in seasons 2 and 3, he's a great villain. I loved him in season 2, how you don't know if you can believe a single word he says, if you can trust him in any sense, and that did create some nice tension. Like, I'm at a certain point, I'm just like, maybe they're keeping him locked up when he shouldn't be. Maybe they're locking up an innocent man, but no, turns out he's not just one of the others, he's like the other. So I really like the fact that they made him into the main villain for season 3, and I really like him in this role because he's not a typical villain. He doesn't look, sound, or feel like a typical villain. Michael Emerson has a really unique quality to him, and I really like that in this show. Whenever he's manipulating someone, he's really effective in that way, but even just how he stands up to people, he does have an intimidation factor because he just has that level of confidence. So because of that, Ben in seasons 2 and 3 is my 4th favorite character. My 3rd favorite character, well, you know who my top 3 are. Even if I didn't mention it at the beginning of this video, I feel like you know, but number 3 is Kate. The only reason why Kate's not higher up is because I don't like the direction they took her in the last 2 seasons with her trying to find Claire. And she's a character who works best when she's interacting with Jack or Sawyer. When it's Kate and Sun, those conversations don't work for me as well. The interactions with Jack and Sawyer are just funny, they're charming, they're delightful, they have really good chemistry, and I love those interactions. Kate as a character, Evangeline Lilly does a great job, but she's super cute in the show, but she's also charming, delightful, but also a complete badass and really tough. And I love, just like Jack, how whenever people need help, she's always willing to do so. I think that's a great character trait of hers. And yeah, I just really enjoy this character, so that's why she's in 3rd place. And then in 2nd place, we've got Jack, specifically in seasons 1, 2, and 3. That's right, I don't like the direction they took him in the later seasons, but in those first 3 seasons, he really worked for me. I know my review for season 1, I called him bland and lacks any bit of charisma, but by season 2, he really comes to his own, and looking back on season 1, they did set him up good enough. And Matthew Fox is really good in this show, and I just like the fact that he's always willing to help people, whether it's with an injury or they just need help in any sense. I like the fact that he doesn't become leader because he seeks it out, but because his natural character just puts him in that position. It's kind of like Ripley in Alien. So you really feel like he deserves the name of leader, and I like seeing him in that position. You also see him get tested time and time again, how his worldview conflicts with Locke's worldview in season 2, how the drama between him and Kate affects his decisions in season 3, how he's trusting of people, perhaps a bit too trusting, but that's still a good character trait. And yeah, I just really like this character, and when he's doing the back and forth with Kate, he's really entertaining. But number 1, my favorite character of this show, no doubt, is Sawyer. Now, from beginning of the show to the end of the show, I actually think he has the best character arc. Now, season 5 is a bad season, and there's plenty of issues I have with how they treated Sawyer in that season, but he still comes to his own, he still becomes a leader, and when I look back at the beginning about this guy who hates everyone, who wants them to hate him as well, to this guy who finds love and, grows up and matures, I really like his character arc. But on top of that, what Josh Holloway brings to this character is just top notch. No one else could have done it like he did. He's just got this great personality. You know, the accent, the way he carries himself, I just love it all. And he's got the best lines in the entire show. Like in season 2, they'll shipwrecked and they're on a piece of wood and he's getting into an argument with Michael and he's just like, what you gonna do? Splash me? And he's always calling people names, like he's got freckles for Kate, but he's just like to Holly, calm down Bigfoot, or ease down Chicken Little, something like that. And he cracked me up the most in this show. He's got so many great lines, he got a great character arc. Josh Holloway is great in the role. He's just a character that I really enjoyed it whenever he was on screen, and that is why Sawyer is my favorite character of Lost. And there you go. That is my list of my favorite characters from Lost. I know there's a lot of absent people that would make most people's list, but honestly, I'm not a fan of Charlie or Holly or Shannon or Boons or whoever. Lots of those characters didn't really work for me, so that's how I came up with the 10 I did. But what are your favorite Lost characters? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.